Hello, Kay. How are you? There we go. All right. Hello. It's so funny. People just pop in and leave. But whatever. I get it. All right. Check one. 1, 2, 1. There we go. Hello, everyone. Let's see, who do we have here? Hello, Carrie and Banks. Hello, Patrick and Imani and Zara. Welcome. Do you have a question for me? You need to have a question for me. I am a teacher, so if you want to talk to me, you can, but you must have a question for me. Okay? It can't just be chat. You have to have a question about English for me. Okay? But if you do, then you can talk to me, a teacher, for free right now. Okay? So, do you have a question? No one? Hello? Hello? Is anyone here? It seems very empty in here. Why is no one talking to me? Hello, Jack. The temperature today, it's not hot right now, but that's because it's rainy. It's a rainy day today. So it's not really hot, but it's humid. It's not really hot, but it's humid. Rainy there too, yeah. LeBron, where are you? I mean, I know China, but where? Oh, okay. All right, so I'm still waiting. I await your questions. And it would be best if you come on stage and ask them. Today is the on-stage edition of English Q&A session. So, every day people say, "Can I come talk to you?" Every day. Can I come talk to you? Can I talk to you? But you can't most of the time. But you can today, now, here. Raise your hand. Come on stage. Talk to me. Ask me a question. Don't just talk to me. Ask me a question. Time is valuable. Come. Ask me your questions. Grin and grinned, it's just a grin is a smile, Jack. He grinned means he smiled. Does it indicate anything bad? No. Well, I mean, it depends on the context. You know, a smile can be something that says friendliness. A smile can be something that says evil, right? If somebody smiles and does this, then that's maybe bad, right? But if somebody smiles, then that's not bad, right? So it depends on the context. But a grin, the word itself, does it imply anything evil or bad or positive or negative? No. It's just like the word smile. It's exactly like the word smile. It's just another version. Okay? Actually, let's take a look and see, where does the word grin come from? Grin comes from the Old English grenian, meaning to show the teeth. Oh, interesting. So originally, the meaning was to show the teeth, and it meant in pain or in anger, right? Like when you're in pain or angry, right? Grr, right? You show your teeth, right? Yeah, interesting. But it has the general sense of meaning to bare the teeth in a broad smile. Originally, it says it may have implied the idea of a forced or unnatural smile, but I don't think it does anymore. I think that if you say he grinned, it just means he smiled. Okay? Is it possible to get a 9 band from the IELTS in 3 months? It's possible. It's possible that I could win the lottery. It's possible that, I could learn everything in the world in one day. Maybe. 1 out of a billion, 1 out of 10 billion, 1 out of 100 trillion. It's possible. Is it probable? No. It's not probable. It's not probable. Why do you want a 9 band? Why are you taking the IELTS? What's the point? Tell me that first. Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning, good morning. Old song. Hello, Kick Cook. What's the difference between probably and possibly? Okay, so probable means likely to happen. Possible means it's, so put it this way. Probable is above 50%. Possible is below 50%. Or possible actually, no, possible is anything. 1% chance, that's possible. It's possible. 1% chance, there's a possibility. But that doesn't mean probable. Probable would be 51% or more, right? That's a probable chance that it will happen. Understand? Yeah. But possibility means, is it possible out of... Impossible means can't happen. Bushing, bushing, impossible, right? But the potential could be from 1% all the way to 100%, right? So that's possible. Okay? But possible does not mean likely. Probable means likely. Okay? All right. Let's see. Jalen wants to come talk to me. I still have my headphones on from my lesson.
Hello.
Hello, Jalen. How
Teacher
are you?
Mark, Mr. Mark, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
I'm fine. What is your local time?
It is 12 hours
Morning?
different. It's 12 hours different. So it is 10:29 a.m. here and 10:29 p.m. in Beijing.
10:29 p.m. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Here
10:29
is p.m.
Yeah, and
Here
here
is 10.
That's right, and here is a.m. Same time, just a.m.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I follow you more than a year.
Oh, wow.
This is my first time. Yeah.
Wow, thank you for following me. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's great.
This is my first time to join your stage.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. You got to raise your hand and get up on stage more, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And
so,
I know you are a music. You play drum very well.
I play drums. I don't know if I play very well. I love playing drums. That's all I can say. I think some people think I'm pretty good, but I don't think I'm great. But I think I love it. I love playing the drums a lot. That's true. Yeah. So, Jalen, do you have a question for me today or something I can help you with your English?
I wonder how often did you make a live stream?
Well,
Long time not to see you.
my schedule changes sometimes, Jalen. So I was doing a lot, too much. I was doing too much for a while. I was doing 2 streams a day. I was doing 1 stream in the morning and 1 voice room at night, and then a stream in the morning and a voice room at night almost every day. But that got to be too much, to be honest with you. And I know people will not understand, but I don't really like the voice rooms. I don't like the voice rooms. I like to have a camera. I want to see people. And it's not when you have 7 people on stage and everybody's trying to talk and everybody's impatient, it doesn't feel great. So you can't really connect to people in that way, I think. So I don't really like them. I will do some voice rooms, but I'm not going to do them like I was. You know, it's weird though because I get a lot more followers when I do voice rooms, but I just don't like them. They just don't connect for me. So when do I do streams? Usually Monday through Saturday around 9 or 10 a.m. my time, p.m. your time, right? Today I started a little bit later, 10:20, but Chabador.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I
Okay.
like live stream better actually.
Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, me too.
I like
Yeah.
people too.
Yeah, right. It's I think it's missing a great opportunity if you do the voice rooms and you don't take the time to try to see the person to connect. I mean, it's just weird. It's because
Yes.
I understand why they do it, because they think they're going to get more. They think they're going to get more opportunity to speak because there are 7 people on stage. So they think that means they can speak more. I understand that, but that really is not as valuable as you think it is. Speaking is not that important. Speaking well is important. Speaking is not that important. Speaking with people who speak well is important. But many people
Yes.
are just
Yes.
joining some stream with somebody and just doing something, and they think that's valuable. It's not that valuable, to be honest. Um, but and yes, Kick Cook says HelloTalk promotes the voice streams more than the live streams. They do, and the reason why they do is because everybody goes to the voice streams because they think they're going to get more chance on stage there. So they've become much more popular. And HelloTalk has not created a good system to balance it out to make people go to both, right? Like, if they're going to have both, what they should do is offer a system that encourages you to go to both. Like maybe stage credits that you can use, where you can say, okay, well, you get 100 credits per week, and 50 of them can be for voice streams, and 50 of them can be for live streams. Now you have to go to the voice or to the live stream because you have to use those credits for that thing, you know? Yeah, anyway, whatever. The point is just that they promote it more because more people go there. But I would like to, I'm trying to make this bigger so that they'll promote this more.
Actually, me too. But
Good.
maybe maybe some Asian people prone to be shy, so maybe they dislike to open the camera, so they choose to go to the voice room.
Yeah,
I guess.
I know that's
Yeah.
true. And there are also some cultures, like in the Middle East, there are some cultures
Yes.
where
Yes.
girls don't want to be on camera. And if there's a
Yes.
cultural reason, okay, I understand. But for the first thing you said about Chinese people being shy, especially girls, guess what? Your shyness is not an excuse.
Yes.
You know, it's important that you guys hear this, because I know shyness is kind of a cultural trait of Asians and Chinese people in general, but how does it help you?
It is helpless, especially for learning English. It is helpless.
Right, it does not help you at all. It doesn't help you
Yes.
at all. So if it doesn't have any benefit to you, then why do you still do it? Or
Yes.
why do you say, well, like, put it this way. We know it's not good to be angry, right? We know that's not good. And so because we know it's not good to be angry, we try not to be angry, right? Well, guess
Yeah.
what? It's also not good to be shy. So if we know it's not good to be shy, then guess what you should do? You should try not to be shy, just the same way that you try not to be angry. It's a negative
Yes.
emotion that's not helping you, you know? So Oprah says Chinese girls are not shy. Well, maybe you aren't, but a lot of them are, I think. It's a cultural pressure. There's a pressure.
Yes.
There's a pressure on girls to not be the first one to raise their hand and to not stick out and look like they're trying to draw attention to themselves. Not everyone, but of course, some of them are. Some of them like to raise their hand, and some of them like to answer questions and are not shy, of course. But there is a cultural pressure to be shy.
Yes. Yes. Culture difference.
Yeah. And I
By
get
the way,
it. Yeah, I understand that. And maybe that has some value in some places, but if you're trying to learn a language, it has no value.
yes. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
For learning language, it is helpless. By the way, you spend many time make live stream and maybe practice playing drum. What's your hobby
What's my hobby?
in your rest time?
I like to go
Yeah, yes.
fishing.
What do you do in other?
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. So I
Uh,
have three things I like
you.
to do. I love cooking, I love fishing, and I like gardening.
Okay, oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I wonder you go to the river or go to the uh water reservoir or go to the seaside to go fishing.
I'm very far away from the seaside or the ocean. I live very far inland. So there is no ocean, but we do have a river. We have a few rivers, and we have some lakes. We have many lakes and ponds and rivers here. So I usually go to a river.
Oh,
There's
yes.
a there's a small river not far from me, and if I want to go, maybe I just want to go fishing for a few hours just to relax. So I can drive there. I'll be there in 5 or 10 minutes, and then I can be fishing within 20 minutes. So if I really want to, I could just go and say I want to go fishing for a little while and relax. And I love that because it's peaceful. I'm by myself. There's no one around. It's just me and nature, and there's beautiful birds flying around, and maybe I see some deer, and it's just peaceful and calming, and it recharges me. Sometimes I love the city, and I'm a city guy, but nature recharges me. It makes me feel better again. It heals me, you know?
You're relaxed. Yeah, and the
Yeah,
fresh air.
absolutely.
Beautiful scenery.
Yeah,
Yes, me too.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, okay, I wonder fishing usually with two method. One kind of fishing is use lures, you use fishing food, but
Yeah,
another kind of fishing method is without fish food.
yeah. You
What
mean
kind
just
of
with the
method you
lure?
use?
I do both sometimes. Most of the time,
Yes, lure. Yeah.
I like to use lures most of the time because most of the time I go to the river, right? So if I'm in the river, the lure will move with the water. But if I go to a lake or a pond, then I usually use. We don't use a lure. Well, sometimes I do, but most of the time I will use a bobber. Do you know what a bobber is? A bobber
Barber.
a bobber, or we call it a bobber or a float. A bobber or float. And it's like a ball that floats on the top of the water. And then there's a hook underneath it. And,
I know
yeah,
that.
the fish will pull it and then you'll see, right? So, yeah, if I go
Yes,
to
I
a.
understand.
If I go to a pond or a lake, then usually I'll use a bobber, because there are too many weeds in the water, too many sticks in the water to use the lure, right? But if I go to a river, I'll use a lure.
Yes, yeah, I understand. Okay. Uh, so every time you go fishing, can you get some fish? In China, it's very difficult to have some fish.
I think maybe I would
You got
say
some fish.
80% of the time I catch something. 80%.
80%.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But
So
we,
your
but
fishing
somebody,
skills
yes,
is better.
somebody asked me about fishing certificate. Do you need a license? You do here. If you want to go fishing legally here, you have to get a license to do it. And when you get that license, you pay a little bit of money. It's not that
Oh,
much. I think it's like $25 for 1 year. Um, and then you have to follow the rules.
25.
And when you follow the
Yes, I
rules,
know.
they say things like, if it's not 12 inches long or bigger, then you have to throw it back, right? So in China, they catch everything and they keep everything, but we have rules that if it's a baby, we're not allowed to, and so we have to throw it back, and that's why I can catch fish every time, because we have rules. So, and most of the
I
people
know, I
follow the
know.
rules. So yeah, our water is pretty clean. The water in the river I go to is pretty clean. You can swim in it. People go fishing in it. People go boating on it. Um, and I think about,
And many fish
yeah,
in the
80
river, I guess.
80% of the time I catch fish. Yeah, 80%. Yeah.
But in China, it's difficult because the fish in the river is not too much,
I know,
and the
yeah.
environment is not maybe not that good in America.
Well, but you just,
But
you
some
know,
people, yeah.
it was like that here too. A long time ago, we had no rules, and people, they did the same thing. They caught too many fish, and there was too much pollution. But we made some rules and changed things, so maybe things will change there one day too. You know, to preserve. They are. They actually, I know they are. I've read about it. In China, they are changing it. They are making more rules and trying to get the people to follow more of the conservation rules, the nature conservation rules. You know. Okay.
Yes.
Wait a second. Wait a minute, Jalen. Just 1 second. Ali, what's your problem, Ali? Do you have a problem? You seem like you have a problem, Ali. I don't know. I feel like you're being a little combative today. It seems like you've made some comments that are a little bit weird. You seem like you're challenging me a bit. So I don't know. Calm down a bit, Ali. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that, Jalen.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It
So I like
doesn't
fishing.
matter.
I like fishing. I also love hiking. Hiking is another one that I like to do because um, I like
You mean
nature.
climbing mountain? You
N-
mean climbing mountain?
We don't have any mountains where I live, but we have hills. We have hills. You know, so
Uh,
lots of forests and hills. If I want to go hiking, I can go in my backyard and there's forest right here. So I can just walk in the yard.
you have a personal backyard. You have a personal backyard.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. I know it's
So I
different.
think you are a rich person.
No, 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 no. That's
Your
just
life.
that's how it is in America. Most people in America live in houses, not in apartments, right? So we have a yard, you know. We have but it's a lot to take care of.
I know. I know.
It's a lot to take care of. Um, so you know, it's good. It's good exercise though. That's why I don't go to the gym because I have a lot of work to do here. I have to cut the grass and I have to cut the trees and I have to, you know, there's a lot to do. Um, and then I also have a garden. I just put my garden in a few weeks ago. It's growing now. I've got tomatoes and beans and peppers and peas and
Many vegetables.
yeah, raspberries and I had raspberries for breakfast from my garden. It was yummy.
How big is your garden? One.
Not too big, not too big. Let me show you. I think I have a picture. Let me
How
see.
many square meter?
Oh, I don't know. I'll show you. I have a picture.
100 square meter?
No, not that big.
Okay.
Very very small. Very small.
Not that big.
Let me show you.
Okay, it's okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
So
Maybe
we have
8,
two
10 or
vegetable
20
we have
square
two
meter.
vegetable gardens. I'll show you.
Okay.
So this is one side of our house has this vegetable garden. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tomato plants here, and these are beans, green beans, and this is cucumber that's going to grow, and these are squash here, and these are some herbs here, right? And I have to build a fence because they're deer. We have lots of deer, and the deer will eat everything, deer and rabbits. So we have to be careful. And then this is the oh no, that's the same side of the garden. Yeah, so you can see there's the tomatoes and the beans. Um,
Okay.
so it's not that big. It's pretty small.
So
And I also have
I found.
raspberries.
Uh, okay. Very nice. A nice garden.
Thank you.
Many plants. Okay. Oh my God, this fruit is delicious. In China, many this kind of fruit.
Yeah, yeah, raspberry.
Your yeah, your garden has handrail. It is used to stop the rabbit, right?
The rabbits and the
Also,
deer.
the rabbit and deer.
Hmm.
I know deer. Deer also eat. Also, it is a vegetable animal.
They eat everything.
Plant.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
If I don't have a fence,
But
then they will eat my whole garden. Yeah, they have. If I didn't have a fence, they will eat everything. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But the deer only eat plant and vegetable. They did not eat meat.
Correct.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Deer 就是那个鹿，
哦，
鹿。
有 man。
Yeah. Here we have many
啊，
many
鹿
many
鹿，对
deer.
对对。
Yeah. Yeah. Every day we see deer.
Actually, yeah, yeah. I guess it is Lu. I guess it is Lu, but I'm not. Just now, I'm not sure. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
right.
it is Lu. How about the uh pork, but not 野猪 pork?
You mean wild pigs, wild boars?
Yes, wild pigs. Yes, wild pig.
I think they
Pork.
they do have them here, I think, some places, but not where I live. I've never seen them here in my state. Well, like in Texas, if you live in Texas or in the South, they have a lot of them, and it's a big problem. They eat everything, and they're very, very bad.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
But here we don't have those. We do have wild turkeys. We have wild turkeys that come sometimes, and we have coyotes. Coyotes are like small
Coyotes. 猎狗
wolves.
猎豹。
我忘记中文怎么说，就是对了，
猎狗。
那
Dog.
就是
Just like a dog, right?
不是，就是
Wild
那个
dog, maybe.
丛林狼，丛林狼，
丛林狼。
对，yeah.
豺狼
Yeah,
豺狼
coyote. It looks like a wolf, but it's smaller. You know?
I know.
Yeah, like this.
It is. Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's a coyote.
How to know? 豺狼
Okay, 豺狼.
Maybe
Yeah,
豺狼.
对, yeah. Yeah, this one
Wild
said,
wolf.
Yes. 丛林狼 or okay, yeah. 都可以说. But we have
Yes,
them here,
yes.
but they are afraid of people, so we never see them. At night we hear them. Sometimes at night, oh, we'll hear them, you know. But
So I guess your house is not located in city center,
no,
right?
yeah, it's in the
Maybe
suburbs.
suburban or countryside.
Suburbs, yeah, the suburbs.
Suburban.
Yeah, suburbs.
Suburbs.
Yeah.
Suburbs.
Mhm.
So, some distance. Yeah, but not far from city center. I
Yeah,
guess.
about 25
Not
minutes,
far from-
25 minutes to the city. Yeah, not too far.
25 miles.
25
kilometers.
minutes. 25 minutes to drive.
25 minutes by car.
Yeah.
25 minutes by car. So maybe 10 kilometer.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
I
not
know.
too far. Not too far.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I understand. Okay. So, really many animals. Your house location is very good.
Yeah,
Actually
it's
live in
nice.
city,
It's
but
it's-
at the same time you can
right.
enjoy nature.
That's right. Yeah, it's close to the city,
Yes.
close enough to the city that I can go to the city. If I have a car, I can go there, right? But it's also not the countryside. You know, if you go 20 minutes the other direction
Yes,
outside
yes.
the city, then maybe you get into the countryside. You know, so 20 minutes into the city, you get to the city. 20 minutes outside, you'll go maybe more farmland. But here, it's just all houses, lots and lots of neighborhoods.
Yes. Okay. So your house address, location is very good. It's very comfortable.
Yeah, it's
So,
nice. Yeah, and there's not much crime where I live. You know, people talk about crime in America all the time, like how dangerous it is here and everything, but that's not everywhere. That's only in the very dangerous places, you know. But my neighborhood, I don't ever.
I know. Maybe in Philadelphia.
Yeah, but not all of Philadelphia. Only the bad neighborhoods in Philadelphia.
But yes,
Most of Philadelphia, the outside, the suburbs
only
look
a
like
area.
this. It's just the same. It's safe. It's just these nice neighborhoods that people live in. You know? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I understand. So actually, mm, uh, the most part of America is safe. Most part of America is safe.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, I'm
yes.
not saying that
I also
we do have problems, and I do think we need to work on those problems. You know, I think I don't want to talk about this, but I do think we have too many guns, and I do think that we do need to work on that, and that's a problem. But but when you hear about it, you think that the whole country is dangerous. When all the people, you know, and around the world they hear it, they think
yes.
everybody thinks, "Oh, America's so dangerous," but it's really it's not. You know, if you come here and you go on vacation, the chances of anything happening to you are really small, as long as you're not going to dangerous places. You know,
I know.
if you go to the dangerous places, then yeah, maybe something will happen, but don't. Don't go there. You know, that's all
Maybe,
I can say, you know.
may, maybe some personal media like issue fake news. Yeah, but
I,
yeah,
I wouldn't call it
I
fake news.
understand.
I won't call it fake news because I hate that term, but I will say that news is a business and businesses need things that are exciting to talk about. And so if they have a choice, they have a choice to talk about somebody who got robbed or beaten up or murdered, or they have a choice to talk about somebody who did something good or positive. They're going to choose the murder. Every time they're going to talk about the murder. Just like if I bring my mother here, if I bring my mother onto the stage here to talk to you, most people will be bored. But if I bring my mother down here and I slap her in the face, everyone will want to watch. So
Yeah, this
it's
is why I choose
that's the
news.
funny thing. That's like news. News is like that too. They know that if they give you the bad stuff, you'll watch. But if you give them the things that are positive and just normal, then that's boring. You know, so unfortunately news and business don't go well together because business needs you to have things be exciting, but news is not always exciting. It's just new.
Yeah, yes, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for inviting me to join your stage.
It's my
Thank you very
pleasure.
much. And
Yeah.
you share very interesting, uh, very interesting things. Yeah, like garden and fishing.
Yeah.
I know a lot to you, and I know a lot to America. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, and thank you for watching
But
and everything.
now, yeah, okay. But now in China it's late, so maybe I will have a shower and then go to bed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
And next time I will come again.
All right. Thanks, Jalen. It
Thank you
was nice
very
to talk to
much.
you. See you next time. One on.
Okay. See you next time. Everyone, don't forget to follow Teacher Mark and also.
Oh no. I guess he ran out of time. He ran out of time. Ah, okay. Yeah. So, let's see. Do I do gardening for food or for fun? For both. We cook everything we grow. You know, I make lots of tomato sauces and I make lots of chili and spaghetti sauce and we do lots of green beans in the summer. We love to eat fresh green beans and my father makes bread with the zucchini we grow and um, yeah, so no, we grow it and we eat it. It's both. Okay, let's see. Jack wanted to know how to pronounce the sentence Earth's rotation. Earth's rotation. Earth's rotation. Rotation. So what you should do is think about the S. When you get to the S, don't think about the S as part of Earth. think about the S as part of rotation, right? So just make it Earth's rotation. Sro. If you just say the word sro, S-R-O, that's not that difficult. But when you try to put it and imagine that there's a TH in front of it, that's when you get in trouble. But don't imagine them together. Imagine them separate. Imagine you're saying the word Earth and then some other word that is rotation, right? It's not a word, but okay. Let's see. Um, One moment. I think there's somebody else waiting to get on stage. Kikook says, I wonder if it's okay to call a teacher just by his name, or should I use titles like Sir, Professor, Mr., blah, blah, blah. Kikook, it depends on where you are. It depends on that person and what they prefer, or sometimes it also depends on that school and what they insist you say. There are some schools that won't allow you to call the teacher by their first name. In America, most people call the teacher Mr. or Mrs. blah, 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 whatever their surname is, right? Or Miss if they're not married. Maybe it's a woman who's not married, that's Miss blah, blah, blah. Mrs. blah, blah, blah is married, okay? And then Mr. whatever, right? However, when I was in Asia, it was more common for the teacher to just to use their first name, and then they just call them teacher. Because that's, for example, in Chinese, right? Ma ke lao shi, right? That's how you kind of say it. You say Mark teacher, right? But we just flip it and say teacher Mark, right? So, but, Kikook, the best way to know what to call someone is to politely ask them. This is something that more people should do, but don't anymore. But we used to ask you, would you prefer if I call you Mark or Mr. or Sir? You know, how should I address you? That's what you can say. You can say, excuse me, I'd like to ask, should I call you Mr. or Sir? How should I address you? How should I address you? To address means to call someone. Okay, call on someone. Okay? Okay, let's see. Do idioms always have a backstory? I don't want to say always, because it depends on what you call an idiom. There are some phrases that some people call idioms that are not idiomatic. Idiomatic means that it does have a story. It has a backstory. That's what an idiom is. If it's idiomatic, it has some sort of a story. Let me check something. One moment. Yeah, interesting. Okay. I was just looking at the background with the word just to see if there was something to help, but they're not really. So what I will say is, yes, idioms, if it's, here's what I'll say. If you look up online for a list of idioms, most of them will have a backstory. But some of them that they call an idiom might not really be idioms. Maybe they're just a phrase. Okay? So it depends. To be idiomatic means to say something in a way that has a story background, right? Okay? You can understand my pronunciation, but you can't understand some native speakers. Do I speak slowly on purpose? Many people ask me this, and my answer is yes. I do speak a little bit more slowly and clearly when I teach. Okay? But not a lot, just a little bit. So there are other reasons why you understand me. One of them is because it's my job. Most of the people who you are listening to on YouTube or TikTok or whatever you're looking at, that's not their job. Speaking is not their job. As a teacher of English, speaking is your job. Any teacher, speaking is your job. You have to speak well, right? And then another reason is because I have the top best equipment that you can possibly get to make my sound the best it can possibly be. So sometimes you're listening to some guy who's in a basement that has really bad sound in the room, and then it will sound like this. Suddenly you can't understand him because the room sounds too much noise, and when there's too much noise, then you can't understand it clearly because it's too muddy. But if you have a nice clear sound, then it's easy to understand. Okay? How should you address me? You can call me Teacher Mark. You can call me Mark. 都可以. Okay? Yeah, Teacher Mark is what most people call me. Okay? All right, let's see. Who else wants to come talk to me? Let's talk to okay. Raise your hand if you want to come talk to me. If you have a question, that would be better.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, okay.
Hello, Mark.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mark.
Do you have an English name?
No, it's just my nickname.
Okay.
Sorry, Mark, my English is not very good. Maybe I can speak slowly.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I'll speak slowly,
Thank you.
and you can speak slowly. That's okay. 没关系啊. So, do you have a question for me about English?
About the English?
Mm-hmm. Or just a question. Maybe you just have a question for me.
Okay. My question is how to speak English very well, like the English native speaker.
Well,
because before when I was okay, sorry.
No. You say because before what? Because before what?
But before when I was a student, I have more time to practice my English. But now I already work, so I don't have much free time to practice my English.
Okay.
But I also want to speak English very well. Because my work maybe need it.
Okay, so 有时候你看电视吗？
No.
没有吗？有时候你去商店吗？
Not often.
Not often, okay.
Just one time, 1 week.
Oh, once a week, okay. 有时候你做饭吗？
No, never.
Never.
Because usually in the university's canteen.
Okay.
For my lunch and
你常常做什么？
all time in the
other
office.
than work, not just work. Other than work, what do you do?
Maybe sleep.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So I was asking you, what do you do? Because if you watch TV, okay, watch TV. Then when you watch TV, just think in English.
Okay.
So I watch TV and think in Chinese to practice my Chinese. I go to the market and I think in Chinese to practice my Chinese. I cook my food and I think in Chinese to practice my Chinese. So you can cook your food and think in English to practice your English. You can go to the market and think in English to practice your English. You can watch TV but think about it in English to practice your English. You told me that the problem is that you never have a chance to practice, right? Well,
Yeah.
that's true. Most people don't have a chance to practice speaking. But you can practice thinking anytime, anywhere, any place, doing anything. So even at work, okay, so at work, maybe at work, sometimes you can try to see if you can think about something in English. It doesn't need to be difficult. It can be simple. Okay? So if you go to the market, you can think just okay, 如果你看那个东西，你觉得这是太贵了，你可以想，哦，这是很贵，这是 that's too expensive. That's expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. Or oh, 这个就是买完了，为什么? Oh, this is sold out. Why? Why is that sold out? You know? So you can just use your English but use it in your mind, and if you do that, then that's why I can use Chinese, because my Chinese is ready. I can't practice Chinese with people here, not regularly, not easily. But I practice Chinese every day just because if I work on my garden, I can think in Chinese. If I go for a hike, I can think in Chinese. If I cook my breakfast, I can think in Chinese. Okay? And then if I don't know how, if I find something and I say, oh, I don't know how to say that, then you write it down in Chinese, and that's your homework. 这是你的功课. Okay?
Yes. Yeah, you're right. But
Yeah.
you have the very good habit. Maybe because now I'm in China, my job. You know, in China, you don't have much time to do something you want to do.
Yeah,
That's the work. And
many people are like that
everything.
here too. It's also many people are like that here too. But still, you can still practice. You just have to practice thinking. Right? So
only
just in your mind. That's all. In your mind. Okay? That's all I do. Okay?
Okay.
Risa says,
Okay,
how
I
can
will
you
do
make?
that.
Risa says, how do you maintain the motivation to think in other languages? So, Risa, that's a good question. I will say, one way is choose things that you do every day. So that's why I love cooking and food and going to the market, because those are things you have to do often. So because you have to do them often, okay, then make those practice moments, because now you have consistency. So you don't need to motivate yourself that much if you choose consistent acts, consistent things that you need to do. You do them anyway. So now you just have to do them in English. And it's not that much to ask. It's not that hard, okay? And it gets easier the more you do it, right? So that's one way. And then the other way to maintain motivation thinking in other languages is because the more you do it, the more fun it gets. Language becomes comfortable. Eventually, the language feels comfortable. It doesn't feel like it's something strange. It doesn't feel like it's something hard. It feels like something that you can use to express yourself. So if I want to tell him how I feel in Chinese, I can. And that feels good. That feels good to be able to know I can express myself with this language. Okay? If I'm angry, I can tell him. If I'm hungry, I can tell him. If I like this or like that, I can tell him. You know, that feels good. That motivates itself because you feel like you can communicate. Communication is a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark. I have one question. I want to ask you. If you can speak English before, but you didn't speak English for about 1 year, about a half year, can you speak after this time, can you speak English again?
Of course.
Well,
Yeah, of
after
course you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have an idiom for that. Let me teach you guys a good idiom. Break the rust off. Break the rust off is an idiom that means that it's like talking about what you're saying. Kind of like, I used to do something, but I haven't done it in a long time, so it's rusty now. We say that. In English, we say, if I haven't done something in a long time, maybe I haven't played drums in a long time, and now I try to play drums, and it doesn't feel that comfortable, then I say, oh, I feel rusty. I feel rusty. This feels rusty. Okay? And when we say, I need to break the rust off, that means, like, for example, a bicycle. A bicycle, if you leave a bicycle out in the rain for a couple of years, it will rust. The whole bike will rust, right? And the chain on the bike, the thing that makes it go, if you want it to go again, then you need to take a hammer and break the rust off, right? So that's what this comes from. This idiom is all about the idea of breaking the rust so that it can move again. Oh, well, if you don't use it for a long time, it gets rusty. If you want to use it again, you have to break the rust off. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
you.
So, but yes, you can. Of course you can. It's not that hard.
But yes, but I need still need to practice English.
Yes, you need a plan. You need a plan.
Plan.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the secret. The secret to success is a good plan. And what I find is most people that study language have no plan. They don't have anything. They say, oh, I want to learn vocabulary. They say, oh, I want to learn grammar. But they don't have a plan for learning vocabulary. They don't have a plan for learning grammar. You need to think about it, guys. You need to think about a plan for, okay, if I want to read, what am I going to read? How often am I going to read? Do I have enough kinds of reading material to challenge me in different ways? Is it hard enough? Is it too easy? There are many things to think about that to make a good plan for practicing.
Okay.
If you don't have a practice plan,
right.
then you're never going to be successful. Not really. Okay?
The plan is very important.
It is, yeah, because again, this is something that I learned from being a musician. The difference between an amateur drummer and a professional drummer is the amateur drummer never makes a plan. But the professional drummer, when they practice, they have a practice plan. They have a plan for how they're going to improve and what they're going to improve and how long it's going to take and how much time they're going to need. Right? But the amateur drummer, they just play for fun and they just want to improve, but they have no plan. That's the difference.
Okay. I got. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember a long time, about 1 year ago, I also talked with you.
I
Yes,
remember.
You,
Yeah.
you didn't remember me because you talk many people every day.
No, I do remember you. I know you looked familiar.
Really?
Yeah, you look familiar. I just couldn't remember your name.
Okay,
But I
thank
do
you.
remember you
Before
from
I
last time.
was studying in Portugal, but now I already graduated last year.
I do remember
So
that.
now-
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. No, and you sound fine. You sound like you're doing well. But you just need to remember, this is the secret of all language. You can practice language anytime, anywhere, and you don't need another person. You just need your mind.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Well,
Okay.
I think it's a bit late, so you should get some sleep, man. You look tired, and you have to work again, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit.
So
Okay. So.
it was great to
Thank you
talk
so
to you
much.
again. Yeah, it was nice to see you again, and keep working on it. And remember what I said. Just try to find ways to use English in your mind every day as much as you can. Maybe one day it's just 5%. Maybe one day it's 10%. But maybe one day you can do 50%. Everything that you see, 50% of it is in English. That would be really good practice. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Take care,
Okay.
my friend. I will see you next time, okay?
Okay, bye-bye.
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 All right. Yes, thinking in English is the secret. It is the secret. It's the secret to familiarity. You guys want to be fluent, but you can't be fluent if you're not familiar. And you can't be familiar if you don't use it. But you don't use it because you don't have a chance to practice speaking. And you think that's the only way. That the only way to practice is with speaking, but you're wrong. No. You don't really need anyone to practice a language. It's better if you do, but if you don't need it. All right? You are welcome. What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say schizophrenia? Will schizophrenia help you learn more languages? No. Why would it? Okay, let's talk to somebody else. Oh, look who's here. Athena wants to come say hi. And Dima, too. Let's get both of them on the stage. Hello to both of you, Athena and Dima. Hello.
Hello, Mark.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Hello,
Hello, Athena. How are you?
I'm good, but I'm in bed, so I
It's okay.
turn off my camera.
It's okay. I understand. No problem. I hope I didn't invite you up at a bad time.
No,
Okay.
I want to ask you just one question.
Okay.
But not related. It's about food, not about English.
Okay, that's good. I like food questions. What's your food question?
But I'm not sure if you like this one. It's about Iceland.
Okay.
Iceland food.
Okay, Icelandic food. Okay.
They have 3 famous food, traditional food. The first is canned herring.
Right.
The second is pickled shark. Third is pickled puffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those don't sound really that good to me.
Okay. Do
but
you want to try any of them?
I would try all of them. I would try them, but I probably wouldn't want it more than once. I've tried many things. When I was in Taiwan, I ate many things that I ate shark fin soup a couple times, actually. And, I would try it, but I'm familiar with these things, and I know many of the cultures from that area. The people of Iceland are originally, most of them, from Northern Europe. The Vikings, right? The Vikings settled there, right? And if you go to Northern Europe, all of Northern Europe has foods like that too, like pickled herring and pickled fish and lots of fermented, salted...
Like Surströmming?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, I mean, all of Northern Europe, Russia too. Russia does it also. They also have lots of salted, cured fishes.
Yeah.
Especially in the wintertime. In the wintertime,
Pickled
it's too
cucumbers.
cold, right? So you need foods that have been preserved foods. So they preserve them in lots of different ways. the food is like that also here in America, but in the Americas, I should say, like in Nova Scotia and Canada and the northern eastern parts, same thing. They also do it there.
Do you know? Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead. Do I know what?
Do you know how they make pickled puffin?
I can guess, but no, I don't exactly know. I can guess. I know how they pickle most things, so I can guess.
They put it in a seal's body. Empty. It's just the skin. Yeah.
Yeah.
And put it fill it with many puffins and and
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like,
Yeah.
but again, like, think about it, Athena. Think about how many foods in China that China has that are a bit weird too. I mean, there are lots of foods that are like that. There's one that I do want to try, but I think it's really weird. There's a place in China, or a few places in China, where they have these giant wasps and they eat the wasps. You know what I'm talking about, Athena?
wasp.
Yeah, let me show you. They're considered like they put them in alcohol. They make like an alcohol with them, and they make a food with them. Let me show you. Chinese wasps. Let's see.
Oh.
Yeah, like these giant hornets. Yeah, like here.
So you think you know
Hold on
Wix?
1 minute.
Do
Let
you
me show
really?
you. Hold on.
First up, we've got shit.
Okay, here we go. Let me show you.
Insects?
Our food is really spicy, and it also involves eating quite a lot of insects. We've eaten this little bit of hive, quite a lot of uneaten wasp larvae.
They eat the larvae, and I think
That'll make a pretty good
they
meal.
put the wasps. Yeah, there you go. Look, see. Right, that's wasp larvae. Right? I mean, that's weird, but I would try it.
Yeah.
That's weird, but I would try it. There are lots of foods like that all over the world. Do you know who Andrew Zimmern is? Have you ever heard of Andrew Zimmern?
No.
He's a very famous chef, and he had a TV show that was really fun. It was a TV show where he would go all around the world eating the most weird foods. Like, he went to every culture in the world trying to find all the weirdest foods to eat, and he would eat all of them. And most of them he liked, but he would even force himself to eat some things that he didn't like. There is one food that I just don't want to eat ever, is in the Philippines and in some other parts of southern Asia. They have something called balut. Do you know what balut is?
No.
I think it's usually a duck baby that's in the egg still. So it's like an egg, but
in China too.
Yeah, right. They have it in China too. But I'm sorry. I love chicken. I love eggs, but I don't want to eat anything in between. And they eat the whole thing. They put the whole thing in there, and it's like the bones and the crunching and the yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm not
in Philippines they think
That's right.
If men
That's right.
eat this,
Yeah, that's
they
right.
have strong.
That's right.
They become stronger.
That's right.
something
Yeah,
like that.
that's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, all over Southeast Asia, that's kind of what they do. But, it's funny. The most disgusting food, that's always the food they say, yes, but if you eat it, it makes you strong.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember another weird food. It's cheese with maggot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, cheese, when you think about it, cheese is weird.
Zorbalu?
What is cheese, everybody? Cheese is rotten food.
Yeah.
That's what cheese is. Cheese is mold. It's grown with mold. That's how they make cheese, is with mold.
As
So,
well as
you know.
sour cream too, yogurt.
Right, that's right. All those things, yogurt, sour cream, it's sour because it's old. You know, it's fermented. You know, it's changed, right? But let me show
And
you.
yogurt is very healthy.
Let me show you
very
this
good.
guy, Andrew Zimmern, because it's a fun show. You can watch it on YouTube. I'm sure that there are clips on YouTube. Let's see, videos.
Athena, have you ever tried salted lard?
Salted what?
Lard.
Salted lard.
Lard is
Lard.
fat.
It's very popular Slavic food. I
Yeah,
think
right,
all
yeah.
Slavic loves it.
Right, and again, it's because in the wintertime, like that's what they used to do is chew
Yeah.
on a piece of lard. You know,
But a lot of Chinese think it's like
Can you
raw
test
food,
it?
and they can't
Test
eat it.
yeah, I will text it. It's LARD, lard. 就是那个
LARD
猪油.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I had it.
Yeah. So
Oh.
yeah, there you go. But guess what? In English, we have a phrase to chew the fat. Have you ever heard chewing the fat before? Chew the fat is an idiom that means to talk. Like right now, we're chewing the fat.
Oh. Oh.
We're chewing the fat. But why did they call it chew the fat? Because a long time ago, that's what the sailors used to do. They would chew on a piece of whale fat. Usually it was whale fat. They would chew on, and
Yeah.
and it's something you put in your mouth and you chew it for a long time,
Ah.
and your mouth is just moving. So that's when people say, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, we're just chewing the fat." It's just like we're just moving our mouths. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, it's but I have this guy here. Let me show you. Like this guy. Here's his show, and he has
L-glutamine, the amino acid.
the most wild foods he's ever eaten. Let's see if I can show just a few. Here it is. Skip. Okay, so
With many faces. On the one hand, small town squares like this one, where locals protect women.
does that sound weird to you? Is the sound weird? Maybe it's just me. Okay, never
from the
mind.
hills and sell their flowers and their vegetables.
So this is him.
A small city all around you that has all of the trappings of a modern metropolis. Vamos, amigo.
So this is what he does. He goes around the world and he eats.
gotten around that an
Latin America?
being prepped for
So he's in. It looks like maybe Mexico or South America. He's gonna eat armadillo. Armadillo is. Let's see if I can show it to you. Where's an armadillo? There it is. There's one right there. That's an armadillo.
Oh my. No,
Oh.
don't eat that.
Yeah, don't eat it.
So that's what that's what his show is all about. His show is he goes all around the world and he eats all these foods. Yeah, you know.
Oh, my God.
So-
They are going to extinct from the earth.
Oh, no. That's a different one. It looks similar. You're talking about pangolin in China. In China, they have one called pangolin. Almost looks the same. This one is called armadillo. They are not extinct at all, I don't think. No, not at all.
Okay.
But they're just they're not extinct. I'll tell you why. Because most people don't want to eat them. Most people would not be interested in eating them. So only a very few people eat them here. You know, so that's why there are plenty of them around. But yes, in China, I know it's a big problem. They have a different animal called pangolin. And yeah, it's considered a Chinese medicine. And because it's a medicine, they've killed almost all of them. You know, and yeah, that's not good. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, armadillos. Let me see if I'll show you a picture of one you can see it's different. This is what an armadillo looks like. It's almost like a pangolin, but not quite. They're very similar looking. and they live mostly in the South in America, at least where we have them. It's like in Texas and the southern states, the hot states like that. That's where they have them is there. Anyway, yeah, that's an armadillo. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, but if you like questions like that and you like things like that, you should watch that guy's show. It's really interesting. You know, he goes to the Philippines and he eats balut, and he's like the whole time he's like me. Like, I'll try some stuff and sometimes it's good. You know, like blood cake. When I was in Taiwan, I ate blood cake often and I loved it. Duck blood, pig blood.
Cake.
Yeah. I forgot how it's called in Chinese.
Is it cake made from blood, from real blood?
It's blood that they congeal. So they take blood from like a pig and they put it on a sheet pan. And then they let it cool so it becomes hard, right? Then they cut it into cubes and then they cook it. Usually, maybe they grill it or they boil it or they put it in hot pot or different things like that.
We make sausage with.
Or you make sausage with it, or you put rice with it, and you do it on like a stick, right? And you put it on the grill, right? Yeah. Yeah, I had it that way. But again, like, that's something that wasn't that unfamiliar to me because my father, he grew up poor, and he used to talk about my grandmother would make duck blood soup, you know? She was from Slovakia, and they were poor and they ate all the same kind of stuff. You know, because when you're
in my country, people often ate blood sausage.
Right. Yeah, yeah, it's very common in Europe, all over Europe, you know. Yeah, and same with Asia, right? But why? The question is why? It's all about food culture, and it's about understanding that. You know, I remember one time I was talking about food on one of my live streams, and some guy on YouTube heard me, and he was not he was a native, he was from America, and he heard me say that Americans are spoiled, and he got really mad at me. And I said Americans are spoiled because when we go to the grocery store, if I want to buy a chicken to cook, there is no head on the chicken, there are no feet on the chicken, and all of the stuff from the inside of the chicken is gone. Okay? Why? Because we don't want any of that stuff anymore. We want the good parts and only the good parts. We don't want to eat the chicken feet. We don't want to eat the chicken head. We don't want all the inside parts. That's considered poor people food to many people. I mean, that's not a good way to look at it. Of course, that's rude. That's not nice to look at it that way. But that's why I said Americans are kind of spoiled. If you go to buy a chicken in Asia, it still has the head and it still has the feet. Why? Because they use everything. They use every little part. That's the way the culture works. But in my culture, we just get the good stuff.
Do you know which part of duck in China is the most expensive
Which
part?
Part of duck?
Mm-hmm.
Beak.
What?
Beak.
I don't know. I would say the beak or maybe the
eyes.
It could be. Fish eyes that's also considered a delicacy. I ate fish eyes a couple times when I was in
It's neck. It's neck.
Oh, it's the neck. Okay, yeah, but
Neck?
we do the same thing. The chicken neck. Some in American culture, in African American culture, black families, a lot of them, and poor family, white poor families too. Chicken neck. Absolutely, they love chicken neck.
When I was a student at the university, I do like eating potatoes, fried potatoes with chicken necks.
There you go. Yeah, there is a lot of flavor in it. The only problem with chicken neck is just too many bones and not enough meat. That's my ex-girlfriend, she used to love to eat chicken, well, she still does, loves to eat chicken feet, right? And it's very popular in Asia. They have lots of spicy chicken feet with garlic and peppers and all this stuff, right? And it is okay. It's not bad. It's okay. But I told her my problem is two things. One, it's a lot of work for just a little bit of meat. Like, you have to chew, you have to pull all that off the bone, and it's really not that much, you know? And then, two, there's another thing that's different in America. The texture is something that we don't really like. So, a long time ago, there was a girl I knew. She loved, when she ate chicken, she loved the cartilage of the chicken, right? So when I would eat like a bone, the bone, in America, the cartilage part at the end, we don't eat that. But she was like, "Oh, that's my favorite part. What are you doing?" She would take that and bite that right off and eat. Right? See, that's what I'm saying. Cultural differences, right? And again,
you are making me hungry. I started with unpleasant food, but you turned it into.
Well, I'm trying to show you that, look, that's something you consider pleasant, but some people don't. That's my point. That was my point, was that in Iceland, I'm sure there are some people who love pickled puffin. But I'm also sure there are many Icelanders who have no interest in pickled puffin. You know, because sometimes these foods, you know, there's most cultures, every generation, sometimes those generations will reject the food of the previous generation because why? Because they were poor. So if you did better and your family's doing better now, you don't want to eat that poor food anymore. So you reject it. You know? So there's a cultural thing that happens all around the world, unfortunately, because sometimes the best food in the world, sometimes the most delicious food, actually not sometimes, I'll say most of the time. In my experience, most of the time, the best food in the world is the poor people food. It's not at the fine dining restaurants. I hate that food. All that stuff where they take the tweezers and they put it on the plate and make it look all... That's not food, man. That's art. And that's fine, but I'm here because I'm hungry, not because I want to see something pretty. You know? So, yeah, you know, food is that way. Food is such an interesting part of culture, you know?
You just reminded me one movie. It's called The Menu, I guess. Menu with... The
Menu?
Menu, yeah, with the actor from Harry Potter, if you know. I don't remember his name.
Oh, I don't think I saw that movie, but I think I heard about it.
Yeah, very interesting. And in one moment, all movie that was about art, not food. And in the end, a girl asked, "Can we make a burger, just burger?" Because I'm hungry.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And again, in America, we have a saying: some people live to eat, and some people eat to live.
Yeah.
And the difference is when you live to eat, it's like, oh, I love food. It's so yummy, and I want this, and I want to try this, and it's yummy, yummy, yummy. But in China, if I ask somebody in China, what did you have to eat today? Most of the time when they reply, even in Chinese, not in English, just in Chinese, they will reply with a very simple statement. They'll say, I ate some pork and some vegetables and some rice. That's it. But they won't describe it in any kind of a delicious way. Why? Because the tradition is not that. When you eat food, Dima, I don't know if you know this, but in China, they used to have a saying, they don't use it that much anymore, but they used to say, as a greeting, they would say, Ni chi le ma, which means, have you eaten?
No.
And again, that's because sometimes you'd meet somebody and maybe they haven't eaten, or maybe they have. And if they have, that's a good day. You ate. You know, good for you. That's great. Right? So that's why culturally, when I ask Chinese people usually what they had for breakfast or dinner, they describe it in the most simplistic ways. Not because they can't, but because that's just usually how they see food. It's something that's a fuel to eat. It's not like a luxury or a pleasure. You know?
Oh, Mark, can I ask you a question about food too?
Sure.
About having food. In English, people usually go for dinner, but they don't have a supper, right? because in English there is a word supper, but people usually don't use it.
Yeah, so the word supper is kind of a funny word. You're right. It's actually, it depends on what region you go to in America, right? So there are certain places in America where they'll say supper more than they say dinner. But actually, when I used to go see my grandmother, she was from Slovakia, right? They used to talk about breakfast, lunch, dinner, supper, dessert. Or no, I'm sorry. It was breakfast, lunch, supper, dinner. Sorry, supper, dinner, then dessert. Dinner was the last one. And yeah, we would eat like, you know, she was always just pushing food in our faces. You know, it seemed like every part of the day,
just like me.
You know, yeah, just always eating, right? And the word supper, all of the words for our meals are really funny. The word supper comes from the word to sup. The word sup comes from the word soup, where the first foods that we used to eat, the most simple foods, was just soup and bread. And you would eat it with, you know, the bread, right? And what do we call that when you put the bread in the soup? What do you call that? There's a word for that in English. Do you know what it is? To sop. S-O-P. To sop it up means to take your bread and put it in the soup to absorb the broth. That's called sopping it up.
Sopping. Oh, sopping. No. I forgot.
Yeah.
It's like to get wet.
Yes, sopping wet.
Totally.
Sopping wet. That's exactly the same one. It comes from this.
Yeah. Oh.
To be sopping wet comes from the word to sop, which comes from soup. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But the word breakfast is funny because breakfast means breaking your fast. Means the first food that you ate that day. That's what it means. Like, because, yeah, right?
My brain explodes.
I know, right? Yeah, right? Yeah. I know, that's one of those words that people are like, you say it every day, but you don't think about what it means. You broke your fast. That's the first food that you ate. You know, the last meal you ate was dinner the night before or whatever, maybe, right?
Wow.
So that's breaking your fast. The word lunch, let me remember lunch. Let me look at lunch again.
Lunch.
Lunch.
What time do you usually have lunch? About
12, yeah, 12-ish. 12, you know, maybe 11, 12, 1, somewhere in there, usually.
Okay.
So lunch comes from, they're not totally sure, but there are some different ideas that they think of where it comes from. And one comes from the word lump.
Lump.
And the reason why was because what was the most common food to give poor people?
Bread.
And how do you give them bread? You tear off a piece and you give it to them. And what do they call that piece? It's a lump of bread.
Lump?
It's a lump. It's a lump of bread.
How do you spell that? Lump?
L-U-M-P.
L-A-M-P?
L-U-M-P.
L-U-M-P.
Yeah, lump. It's a lump of bread, right? So that's one theory, is that it's from lump. The other theory is that it comes from the word nuncheon. Nuncheon is a word we don't use anymore. Nuncheon was a word, an old, was it Old English? I think it was an Old English word that meant the light midday meal. And it comes from the word noon, meaning noon, right? Nuncheon. It's like what you eat at around noon, right? Mm-hmm. So nuncheon and lump got mixed together and you became lunch. Yeah, but it's, it just, and really it means noon meat. That's what it means, is noon meat, the meat you eat in noon. But actually, poor people didn't usually have meat. They usually had bread, right? That was the most common thing that they would eat, was bread. So, yeah. So that's the word lunch. And then the word dinner, also funny. Dinner actually means, the original meaning of dinner is first meal of the day.
But it's the last meal.
It is now. It is now. But I want you to think about it. How many years have human beings really been eating 3 meals a day?
Oh, I don't know.
Right. We don't think about it, but actually 3 meals a day has not, that's a very new thing. You know, most people didn't eat 3 meals a day, especially if you were poor. You were lucky to eat once a day, right? So most people ate once or maybe twice a day. They had snacks. Snacks were important, you know. But the truth is that the 3 meals a day, that's mostly a modern marketing technique that was used by food companies to encourage us to buy more, especially after World War II in America. That's what happened. Breakfast, when they talk about breakfast as the most important meal of the day, that's all marketing. That's all marketing. There is no evidence to prove that.
Was there a marketing company in the past in America about food?
There was one. It's called Kellogg's. Kellogg's. It's still a company that makes a lot of food, and they had a man named John Harvey Kellogg. He was the founder of Kellogg's Company. He was a religious man. He was what they called a Seventh-day Adventist, which was a special kind of religion that was Christian, but they also had a lot of health stuff. They like what you eat. They were vegetarians. They were some of the first vegetarians. They were the Adventists, right? And he had all these crazy ideas about health, and he created a food called corn flakes. Have you ever seen these before? Let me show you. Maybe you've seen these in a grocery store somewhere before.
Yeah.
This one. This was created by Harvey Kellogg, and it was a food that was supposed to be a health food. It was a health food for people. Now, is it really healthy? So-so. It's not the worst thing, but it's not the best thing either.
Just a food.
It's just a food, right? Yeah. But it was mass-produced food, and it was easy to eat. It was easy to make. It was quick. You could just put milk on it and eat in the morning. So it became a marketing tool that everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this is good. Let's sell this. That breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and look, you can eat it fast and quick." You can just eat some cereal and be gone, right? But yeah, you know, almost all the breakfast foods, like all the American breakfasts that are so heavy, that's all marketing, you know.
But now many people and many scientists and especially people who do yoga, they know that it's not really good to eat immediately when you get up.
That's right.
It's better to make a gap about 16 or 18 hours between food in the evening and food in the next morning.
You know, there is a much simpler way to look at this. If you're trying to think about diet, it's really simple. I just want you to imagine, you are living 4,000 years ago. So what I do is, by imagining that, now it's 4,000 years ago, how hard is it to get a meal? It's hard. And how much work do you need to do to get that meal? A lot. But now, when we eat, and you eat that burger from Burger King or McDonald's, and that one burger is 1,200 calories that you did nothing to do. You did nothing to get. You paid money. You handed them some money. That was the exercise you did, right? So what I'm saying is you can eat that burger. I don't care. You can eat that burger. But if you're going to eat that burger, you better go for a run. You know. So yeah, those kinds of things. That's what I like to do, is I just like to imagine, you know, diet is not that complicated. It's very simple. It's whatever you put in, you need to also exercise to balance it. That's as simple as it gets, you know? So I think eat anything you want. Eat as much of it as you want. I don't care how much you eat. I only care if you're balancing it with proper exercise too. That's it. You know?
Oh, I'm going to sleep now. But before that, I'd like to tell you about a can of Li food. Do you know there's Li people in Hainan? Li people is the native, original people here
Oh, okay.
in Hainan.
Indigenous people.
Not Han.
And they have this food pickled rice with raw fish.
Pickled rice with raw fish. I think I've seen that before.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Smile.
Again, that show, that guy who has that show, he's gone everywhere and eaten everything. So I think I saw him eat that on that show once before. Pickled rice. Okay. That sounds familiar.
I haven't opened it yet because the smell is so strong.
Yeah.
I'll try it tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck. Let me know how it is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Athena, sleep well, and it was good to see you again. Take care of yourself. Okay.
Okay. You too.
Thank you.
Bye, my friend.
Bye.
Good night.
Yeah, so anyway, there's a great movie, Dima. If you want to see a funny, really great movie, there's a movie called The Road to Wellville. Let me write it for you. It's a movie. It's all about John Harvey Kellogg and Kellogg's Corn Flakes and this whole thing. And Anthony Hopkins plays John Harvey Kellogg. So the movie is really amazing. It has Anthony Hopkins is in it, and John Cusack is in it, and there are so many famous people in it. It's really, really good, and it's all about it's a comedy, and it's funny, but it's partly true. This movie is partly true about this guy who was really like this. You know, it's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
The
Road to Wellville. Yeah. John
Cusack? John Cusack?
Yeah, John Cusack and also Anthony Hopkins and a few other people too. He had a place called a sanitarium. Do you know what a sanitarium is?
Sanitarium?
Yeah.
Like a resort, but for health, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah. And so he created one of the first sanitariums in America. And he had one called the Battle Creek Sanitarium in Michigan. And it was this famous place where all the rich people would come for health, you know, to do all these crazy, weird, funny ideas that they had back then about health and food and exercise and disease and bacteria. They had a lot of really weird ideas. Some of their ideas were right. Some of their ideas were true, but a lot of their ideas were really, really stupid. You know, but it's funny, you know. Like the beginning of the movie is one of my favorite beginnings. The beginning of the movie, it's Victorian type looking time, right? So everybody's wearing really thick, heavy clothes, right? Like the women have those big dresses on, right? And all of these women, hundreds of them, are lining up. They're running around the building. And while they run around the building, they're singing. But what are they singing? They're singing the word ha, like a laugh. So they're just running around while they're singing ha 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 ha. It's so funny to watch, like, hundreds of these women dressed in these, you know, dresses running around laughing. They thought laughter was medicine. So every morning they would wake up and sing laughter.
Who knows, maybe that was not bad.
Yeah, I mean, there is some truth to it. There is some truth. I'm gonna find that clip. Road, because I know it's in the clip. Road to Wellville.
I found this movie.
Trailer. Here it is right here. This is the trailer to the movie. Let me share it with you. It's a funny movie.
Battle Creek, you say? Well, what a coincidence. That's our destination too.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Can't
what
you just
happened?
smell it?
Wait, why is that not working? Let's try again. Share screen. Road to Wellville. Here we go.
Battle Creek, you say? Well, what a coincidence. our destination too. Can't you just smell it? There's the great man himself. There's Dr. Kellogg.
It's Anthony Hopkins. And Matthew Broderick is also in it.
So why aren't you drinking here?
But my favorite part, let me show you my favorite part. Hold on. Let's see. Stop. There's this great part. I thought it was right there in the beginning, but it's not. Where is this? Let's see. Back. Here it is. Here it is. This is what I was trying to show you. This is the beginning of the movie, and it's the funniest thing ever.
Emily wrote a comment. The name are breakfast, brunch, lunch, tea, snack, dinner, supper. But you forgot about dessert.
Yeah, dessert too. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, dessert. After supper, it's dessert.
That's right. Yeah.
Looks like you've
why
told
does it
people
keep doing that? I don't know why it keeps doing that. It keeps going to the wrong page. Try again. One more time. Here. Now it's there. Okay, except I have to get through this commercial. You can't do anything in America unless you watch a commercial. I'm not joking. You can't breathe in this country unless you watch a commercial first. They make you watch commercials for everything. Okay, watch. Watch this.
Yeah, I know. I can imagine. Oh. I think... I think it definitely has positive effect.
Right, yeah. It does. Isn't that funny? This is the beginning of the movie. It just starts like that. It's so funny. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, anyway, and it was just so funny, all the ideas that they had. But it's still true today. Today, even, rich people go to these same kinds of places to do stupid stuff. All kinds of crazy ideas about health, Yeah, anyway, so nothing's really changed.
And it's often connected with East culture, kind of.
It's
from China.
It
from
used to be.
Japan.
It used to be. That used to be like kind of the thing, was to market as like Eastern, right? Because then you could market it more. But not anymore. Now it's just
marketing convinced us that all Chinese people know kung fu.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah. The stereotypes. Those are reinforced by TV and movies and all those kinds of things, Yeah. But that's also why they think, I saw a comedian just the other day. She was a Chinese comedian, very funny. And she said, "Did you know that my hands are different than American hands? And you can tell that I'm not American by looking at my hand." And she said, "Look at my hand. My hand has these 3 lines right here. And if you also look, you'll see I don't have a gun." She was trying to say that all Americans have guns, so she was saying, like, look at my hand, I have 3 lines and I don't have a gun. That's how you know I'm not an American. And that's funny but true, but again, I have no guns. There are many Americans who have no guns. The problem is that some Americans have all the guns. Yeah. But anyway, but you have to laugh, you have to laugh. I don't take offense at it. She's right. She's right. We do have a problem with that, so I don't mind. That's an important part of America. Humor is the way we get change. Almost everything that happens that's good in America happens first by making fun of it. We make fun of it first. And once we make fun of it enough, it becomes common, and then you can talk about it. If people joke about it, then it becomes comfortable to discuss. And then once you discuss it, then you can actually make changes. So comedy is actually a really important part of how we evolve here.
So, according to your words, maybe to make a good comedy movie is better than to go to the protests.
Well, if you have the possibility to do that, then yes, sometimes that's true.
Yeah,
you can have more of an effect by doing that, right? People who go to protests because they feel they don't have anything else they could do.
Oh yeah.
You know,
right.
Anything that you could do more than that, you would. but protest is about solidarity. Do you know that word? Solidarity means to feel like you're part of something together, right? So when you go to a protest, why do you go there? You know it's not really going to make a big difference, but you do it for two reasons. If everybody comes together, then you see, oh, it's not just me. It's a lot of people feel the same way. And then you feel like, oh, well, if it's not just me, then I feel better about feeling that way. Like, oh, well, I guess it's not just me. I feel right. Maybe I'm not wrong. Maybe this is a problem, right? So when we go to protests, it's because of, we don't have a lot of other things we feel we can do, but we also want to feel like, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. But then when you go see there's other people who feel the same way, then you say, well, maybe I'm not crazy. So anyway. But it starts with comedy, often, Do you want to know what the most truthful news show in America is? It's called The Daily Show.
Daily Show?
The Daily Show. It's on Comedy Central. It's a comedy show. But it's a comedy show where they talk about the news. And they talk about how silly and stupid things are. And that's what's truthful, right? So honestly, if you want the most truth that you will see on the news, watch The Daily Show. It's Jon Stewart is the guy who hosts it. He is very famous comedian, movie star comedian, and he's brilliant. Man, he's really smart guy, and he knows how to word things really well, and he knows how to make a good point. So when something needs to be talked about, he knows how to talk about it in a very direct way because he's a comedian. Comedians, that's what they do. They think about things on a deep level so that they can pick it apart and make fun of it. So, yeah. Yeah, The Daily Show is a comedy show, but honestly, I will say it has more truth in it than most news does on either side. I don't care what side you're talking about. The news people are afraid to say anything that might offend anyone, so they never do. Comedy is all about trying to offend people. So that's what they do, They say things that some people are going to be offended by, Yeah, but it's kind of interesting how comedy has such an important role in this particular country for speaking truth to power. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I know, it's a little different there. It's a little different there, Dima, I know. Yeah.
No, I understand, but I don't want to continue
I understand.
To develop this topic because it's going to become a political
That's
topic.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to talk about it without talking about it,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. We're just talking in general terms, right? Not specific terms, So, but anyway, well, Dima, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about today?
No, actually, no. I will continue learning English.
Okay, and you were asking about dessert. Where does the word dessert come from? Dessert actually comes from the French word desservir, which means to clear the table.
Desservir?
Yeah, it means to clear the table in French. And why? Because that's what they would do. So, des and servir, serve, to serve, right? So des in this case means not, and servir means serve. So To unserve is what it means, to clear the table. Right? And so that's what they would do. They would bring your dessert after they cleared the table.
Uh-huh. One more question. Are dessert and the dessert connected somehow?
No, they are not connected. No. So dessert with 2 S's, you can remember it's that one because the 2 S's, they mean super sweet. Super sweet. Desserts are super sweet. So the word dessert has 2 S's. Super sweet. Okay? The word desert, let's see, it comes from a different French word, déserter, which means to cause to leave, to desert, right? A deserter. A deserter is somebody who, they're in the army and they leave, right? They go without, permission, right? That's called a deserter, right? He's a deserter, means he tried to leave without permission, right? And so the word desert comes from that word, meaning to cut off connection. Because when you go to the desert, there's no people there. Right? So, the word, the Latin word deserere or desertare means to abandon, to leave, to forsaken, to give up.
I just remembered one movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he was in a French army in Africa, and he was like desert, how to say? He leaves army.
Yeah, that's right.
And
that's that word.
He left army and went to the desert.
Yes, and you know what though? I just made a mistake. I made a mistake because when I saw the first version, the first word, it's the verb version, to desert, which is to leave. But the second one is the noun, which is from the French word désert, which means, so it just comes from the Latin word that means an abandoned place. It means an abandoned place, a place where nobody is. There's no people there. It's the desert. Yeah, so that's the original meaning of the word desert, is a place with no people. Abandoned. Yeah. But that's a good question. That's a good question. They sound like they should be. That's the only problem with etymology, is sometimes there are some words that sound like they must be related, but they're not. Like the other day, somebody asked me about the word latitude. Right? Latitude it has 2 meanings. One meaning is like on a map. You have lines of longitude and lines of latitude on the map. Right? Those are the lines. But latitude also means, if I say give me some latitude, it means let me work. Give me some room to work. Right? So latitude means breadth, like wideness. And they asked me, they were from France, and they said, oh, that looks like l'attitude, which is le meaning the, and attitude, which I assume means attitude, like your way of being, right? So they said, well, l'attitude is a lot like latitude. Are they related? And I said, no. I see why you think they're related, but they sound like they must be related, but it's a coincidence. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's etymology for you. It's not a perfect science. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well,
anyway,
Dima.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, my friend. It's always good to see you, man. Really. I'm glad I started doing these Fridays and Saturdays now, because I was getting frustrated for a while, because when I come here, I'm trying to do something and I want to teach, and I have all these ideas and concepts and things that I want to tell people about. And sometimes it's frustrating because it seems like some people, when they come on the streams, the only thing they want is just, can I come talk to you? Can I come talk to you? Can I come talk to you? They don't have anything to talk about. They don't have a question. They just want to talk, And I don't like that, because it makes me feel like I'm wasting my time, to be honest with you, So now I have Fridays and Saturdays. Fridays and Saturdays, Fridays and Saturdays. If you want to come on my stage, Friday and Saturday, those are the days that you can raise your hand and come on stage. The other days are days when maybe I might invite some people up, but on those other days, I must teach. I must teach.
And fortunately, I got notifications on time.
Good. I'm glad you got it. Yeah, I talked to them. They didn't reply back, but I think it got fixed. Yeah, because I noticed the other day there were a lot more people in my room. Because I think a lot more people
just released a new version of the app.
Yeah. Yeah.
I downloaded it and it works better.
Good. Good. Yeah. Anytime there's a problem, let me know so I can tell them. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Really. It's great. And always good to see you. And thank you for coming. And I'll see you again soon.
Too.
Okay, my friend?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Have
you.
a good
See
rest
you.
of your evening. Bye-bye. Okay, let me check the comments here and my YouTube. Hello, Butterfly and Wissam over in my YouTube. And can I pronounce anti-disestablishmentarianism? Yes, I can. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. You're always confused about the spelling or the pronunciation of dessert. So here's how you can remember. The word dessert, the meaning of the word dessert comes from the French word meaning des is like dis. What does dis mean? If you see dis on a word, what does dis mean? What does dis mean? Yeah, it means the opposite, or it means no, right? Not, right? Yeah, it means no or not, right? Okay, so dessert actually comes from the meaning dis, meaning no or not, right? And the word serve. Disserve. That's what dessert actually means. It means to unserve. Why does it mean unserve? Because when do you eat dessert? You eat it after they clear the table, right? So you finish your dinner and then they come and they clear the table and then they bring the dessert. So before they can bring the dessert, they must unserve everything that they served. Okay? So dessert actually means disserve, to unserve. Okay? I hope that helps. And the pronunciation, let me think of another thing. When you say the word desert, 这是四声 desert, desert. But dessert, D-E-S-S-E-R-T with two S's, 这是我觉得这是四声二声 I think, yeah, dessert. Dessert. It goes up. Okay? Understand? Yeah, desert. 四声 Desert. Desert. Down, down. Dessert. 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 Right? All right, what time is it? It's 12:15. Okay. Let's talk to Kim. Kim, do you want to come talk to me? Oh, no, Kim's not there. I have time to talk to one more person if you want to raise your hand and come on stage. You didn't even know that in your super American, Travis? Are you talking about dessert? Yeah, most people don't, man. I'm a nerd for etymology. I know where the words come from. Travis, let me tell you another word that you probably didn't know where it comes from and what you're saying when you say it. The word goodbye. Do you know what goodbye means, Travis? Have you ever thought about the word goodbye and what it really means? It's kind of funny. Goodbye comes from this. Goodbye is a shortened version of God be with you. How funny is that? I'm not a religious person, but I think it's funny because people say these words every day and they don't know. That's what goodbye means. It means God be with you. That's what they used to say when someone was leaving. You would say, Godspeed, God be with you. You know, you were saying, I hope you're safe in your journey. You know? Yeah, but that's where goodbye comes from. Yeah. Like I said, I'm an etymology nerd. I know stuff that most people don't know about words. What's the longest English word that I know? There are a couple of them that get brought up a lot. One of them is a medical term. I could look it up. I can't remember it now, but there's one that's a medical term. But there are also a couple of names in English that are towns. Especially there's one in Scotland that there's a town named in Scotland that the name is super long. Really, really, really long. And then finally, everybody likes to say, can you say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Yes, I can. If I say I come from a devout family, you don't need the ED, just devout. A devout family, yes, it means a very religious family. To be devout means to be not like just a little religious, you're pretty strongly religious. You're devout. Nobody wants to come talk to me. Okay, well, before I forget, here's my website. You can go to my website and subscribe, and you can also study English there. Everything you need to study English is on my website. All you need to do is subscribe. And let's see, here is, if you go to AFIEC English. If you search for this, you should find me on YouTube also. You are too shy. 不行，过来，过来。Can I do accents? Sure. What's the meaning of bide? Luke, to bide is a word we don't use very often anymore, but occasionally we'll say to bide my time. It's the most common way. To bide my time means to be patient and wait. Okay? So, if I remember right, I think the word bide comes from the word to abide. Let me double check. To bide, which means to stay, to remain. It comes from the Germanic word bidan, meaning to await. Ooh, I'm wrong. Okay, yeah, no. So to bide, it just comes from an old German word that just means to wait. Okay, so to bide my time means to wait patiently. Okay? Yes, pop by is a common phrase used for situations where you're having a short visit. Yeah, I'll pop by later. I'll pop by, I'll drop by, I'll swing by. All are the same. Okay? You are welcome, Luke. That's right. Why don't you try? You won't lose anything. And 我会说中文，所以如果你需要，你可以说中文，都可以。可是我觉得这是比较好。如果你要练习你的英文，说你的英文。Pop into is also close, but not quite the same meaning, right? Pop into might be like, I'm going to pop into this classroom for just a minute. Like if you're at a school, maybe you're the principal and you want to pop in to check on the teachers to see how they're doing, right? So you'll pop into the class, which just means go in for a minute to watch. Okay, let me pop in, okay? Can I tell you a complete practical way to learn English with a proper accent like yours? Ankit, no one can. They write books about this, Ankit. So here's what I will tell you. I can't tell you every single thing right now. That's why I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book about all my ideas, but you need to read it. Okay? So here's what I'll tell you, Ankit. I have 82,000 followers. 82,000 people follow me. Why? Because they want a complete, practical way to learn English with an accent like mine. So if you follow me, you will learn a lot if you are patient. But many, many, many people are not patient. Cloudy is ready to talk to me, and then I must go. Cloudy, come talk to me. Hello, Cloudy.
Hello, sir. Nice to meet you.
我也很高兴认识你. How are you?
Not so good, not so bad.
Not so good, not so bad. Okay. So. Why?
Yeah, just so. You know, this weekend, but I have to work.
Okay. 我知道.
You know, Chinese people.
Yeah.
Very diligent.
对啊，我知道. Yeah, I know. Okay, well, Cloudy, are you in Beijing or Shanghai or where?
No, I was born in northeast of China, Liaoning province.
Okay, but 现在你住在哪里?
Now I'm working in the UAE, Middle East.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so what do you do there?
I work in the desert.
Yeah, I think
Desert,
so.
right?
Yeah, that's right. You work in the desert. That's right. Yeah, okay. So you guys, are you in construction or what?
Yes, it's about drilling. You know, there's a lot of
oil.
Oil resources.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that's probably a pretty good job, though. Okay. Hard job, but a good job.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think it's
No?
a good job.
No?
Sometimes I want to change my
Yeah.
job.
Okay. Okay. So what are you doing about that?
I'm responsible for repair if some equipment have problem. I'm responsible to repairing it.
Okay, but I mean, 如果你要新的工作，现在你做什么？
You mean?
Yeah,
如果新的工作我会选择
Yeah,
做什么
if you want a new job, then what are you doing?
I want to do some job that's sitting in the office,
Okay.
not working in the
Okay.
desert anymore.
Okay, all right. So, then how do you do that? How can you do that? What do you need to do? 你需要做什么？
I think I need to get a good relationship with the leader, so the leader maybe can change my position.
Okay. Oh, so you want to stay at that company, but you just want to move to an office position.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Because my company is a state-owned company.
Ah, okay.
And for Chinese people, this position, this company, it's hard. They are hard to join this company.
Ah, so it's so you want it, so you
seldom.
Yeah, so you want to stay, but you just don't want to do this job. Okay, I understand. I understand. Well, then then yes, I think 我觉得你需要一点那个关系。
Yeah, yes. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I should make a good relationship, keep a good relationship with the leadership.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, make friends. Go play golf.
What?
Golf. They like to play golf. The bosses all like golf. Invite the boss to go play golf.
You just give the boss some gift.
Maybe, but bosses get lots of gifts. You have to be creative. You have to find something special.
Yeah. It's hard to keep a relationship with others. You should know their hobbies.
That's right. That's right. You need to know something. Like I'm sure many people give your boss, like whiskey or wine or alcohol, right? They will just give him something like that, right? Okay, but everybody does that. Everybody does that, so it's not special. So they won't remember you because it's not special. So that's why, yes, you need to know about your boss. If you know what he likes, then maybe you can get him something special, and then he'll remember you more. That's the key,
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Is your boss good? You like your boss?
No.
Okay.
I think
I hope he's not watching.
Who in the leadership, they are stupid.
Oh well, guess what?
Just
most companies that are that way. Most companies are that way. That's one thing. That's one thing I think AI will help us with. To be honest, everyone knows that the CEO makes the most amount of money, but the CEO does not do the work. They don't do that much. They're not worth what they get paid. And AI is going to prove that, because guess what? All the jobs that AI can replace, do you know what job would be the easiest for AI to replace? The boss. AI could get rid of the boss, because what do they do? Nothing. The AI could do everything they do. Every decision that needs to be made about the company, AI can make those decisions better. So yeah. So one day, one of these days, AI is going to be the axe that comes to the CEO community, because they've been, I get it. You want to be the boss and you want to have more money than everybody else, but guess what? Every dollar isn't actually earned. What that means is some of the work that you did earned you dollars. Some of the work you didn't do anything to get that work at all. And being clever does not trump being compassionate. This is what rich people need to remember. What this means is sometimes people think, well, if I was smart enough to make that much money, then I deserve that much money. But what you forget is if you are smart enough to make that much money, that's great. That doesn't mean that you don't have compassion anymore. That doesn't mean that your money is more important than compassion. So that's the problem is that the CEOs, they make all the money and they think, oh, well, I earned it, I deserve it. Okay, maybe. Don't you have any compassion? What happened to compassion? You have to care about the world, not just yourself. You have to care about everyone, not just yourself. But sometimes the bosses, that's all they care about.
So when you say compassion, what do you mean? compassion.
Compassion 中文就是那个怜悯。
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So you have to have an awareness of other people. You know, okay, great, you're rich, wonderful. But the best rich people are the ones who do good things with their money. You know, the rich people who we truly admire are the ones who are generous, not the ones who are selfish. I don't know why. Why do we want to worship people who are really selfish? You know? The world, what the world really needs is people who are truly rich with compassion. We need more people who are rich with compassion. You know?
I think the leader in my company, who have the highest position, maybe the number 1 or number 2 position, they are good leaders. But the people in the middle management, some of them are stupid.
Yeah, well, guess what? That's true all around the world. Middle management is always the stupid ones. That's what, and again, middle management, those jobs are going to be gone soon. There is no need for middle management anymore. We have AI. AI can do all those things. Managing is not hard. It's just not. Working is hard.
Some of the middle management, they didn't work in the frontier like us.
So they
didn't
don't know
how exactly the work should be.
Right.
But they gave order. And by their imagination.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to do it exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes they gave stupid orders.
Yeah. That's true everywhere. That's true everywhere.
And sometimes they do their job not because of the responsibility, but only because they want to get rid of the punishment from their boss.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes they're just, somebody else is angry at them, so they pass it on to you. That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Cloudy, what I think you should do is here's what I tell people is, if you want to have a good job, if you want to feel safe at your job, then you must make yourself valuable. And not just valuable, you must be uniquely valuable. Uniquely valuable. What that means is if you, maybe tomorrow you create some new system, that's your system, and it's a good system, it's a very organized system, but it's your system and only you know how to do it, really. And you start using that system.
Yourself cannot be replaced.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah. So that's what I tell people is, whatever job you have, when you get there, the first thing you should do is look around and figure out how you can make yourself uniquely valuable so that they can't replace you and that they have more respect for you, that they will want to keep you and make you happy. Because they must. Because if you leave, they're in trouble. Yeah. But most people don't do that. When they take a job, they just do the job, but they don't look for ways that they could do that job uniquely. And if you don't do that, if you do the job just the way everybody else does, then guess what? You are easily replaceable. You know?
Yes. But when I'm working, no matter how good it is hard to be saw by your direct leaders.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it must be. It's tricky, but here's what I will tell you. This is another good way to use AI. Okay, so AI is good at a few things, and one of the things AI is good at is it's good at thinking about things on a much grander level than you, which means if you try to think about possibilities, you can think about maybe 15, maybe 20, maybe 30 or 50 possibilities, but you can't think of more than 50 possibilities. It can think of 50 million possibilities at once. So why is AI good for this kind of thing? Because you can talk to AI and you can tell ChatGPT, here's my job, this is what I do, this is my company, I need to find a way to make myself uniquely valuable at this company. I'm going to tell you everything I can about this company so that you can help me find ways to do that. It's good at statistics, which means it's good at processing large numbers, right? So it's not that good at creativity, but it is good at numbers. So then you can say, okay, I've told you all the information. Now I want you to give me 10 possible ways that I could become more valuable at my company. And it will. And then you can say, give me 10 more, give me 10 more, give me 10 more, give me 10 more, give me 10 more. And tell it, don't repeat yourself. Because it does. You know, AI will repeat itself sometimes. But if you tell it not to, it usually is better about that, right? And then AI will help you to find some ways that maybe you can be more unique at your company, and maybe you can get noticed more at your company. Let AI help you find some ways to get noticed. I'm trying to tell everybody that AI can be used by anyone to help solve your personal problems. But you have to find a creative way to do it. So what I'm saying is you can tell AI about your situation and then say, I need to make myself more valuable. Can you help me think of some ways to do that? And maybe it will. Maybe it will.
Yes, I think AI is amazing.
Me too.
You know, I have a 9-year-old daughter, and once upon I gave my cell phone to him, so let her talk with the AI. Finally, my daughter talk about everything in his school, and all the things happen in his school time. And he keep talking with the AI, and cannot stop. Some of the things even his mother didn't know about.
Yeah, but that's good, because that means your daughter is trying to figure it out. Your daughter is trying to find the answers. She's trying to ask questions and understand her world better. Right? When I was a kid and I was 9 years old, sometimes I have questions, but I feel I'm not allowed to answer. I'm not allowed to ask them. I can't ask. They'll say, oh, I'm busy. I don't have time for that. Or no, I don't want to, But AI always has time. So AI can be good that way. It helps you to understand the world better. So that's good. But it's also good that you recognize if your daughter is talking to AI about things that she's not talking to you about, what does that mean? That means that she feels she can't talk to you about some things.
Yes, sometimes I feel sad about it.
It's normal. It's normal. That's being a parent. Okay? Being a parent, I don't have any children, but I am a child, and I can tell you that my relationship with my father, for example, we have a great relationship, and now we talk about everything openly, completely. Even if I have something terrible going on in my life, or something embarrassing, or something really traumatic or difficult, I can tell him all of it and not worry. But that's not how it always was. When I was younger, you are her father, which means she wants your help, but she also doesn't want your help, because she also wants to figure it out for herself. She's trying to grow up, right? So it's tricky, because your daughter will always feel there are some things that she can't talk to you about, but the goal should be to create an environment where they start to feel more comfortable in time, right? She's only 9, so it's normal for a 9-year-old. When you're young, part of what you do is you have to establish me. I'm me. And you can't be me unless you keep some things to yourself. Right? So there are some things you have to keep inside just to yourself. That's you, right? But in time, over time, you want to create an environment that she feels comfortable, like, okay, well, I have a problem. I want to go talk to my dad about it. I want to tell him, you know? And if you create an environment that feels open and that feels comfortable, then she will. You know?
Yes, I think that's the cultural difference between America and China. In China, parents just be parents. They're not friend with their child.
Well, kind of.
But in America, I think and children and their parents are the more equal position.
I won't say equal, but what I mean is this. Like, look, when I was a child and my parents were my parents. They're still my authority figure, but they recognize they weren't trying to be my friends, but they were trying to make me feel like you can talk to me if you need to talk to me. I'm not your friend, I'm your parent, I'm your dad, but you can talk to me and it's okay. Even if it's hard, I want you to be able to talk to me, and then we'll work it out together. We'll figure it out together. And that's what you need to let your daughter know, is whatever it is that you've got going on, it's okay. If you do tell me, we will figure it out together. All right? You're my daughter. I'm going to help you. Don't worry. Whatever problem you have, we will figure it out together. That's what she needs to feel eventually. But it's hard, okay? And in time, I don't think Chinese parents are trying not to be friendly. I think that Chinese parents, the problem is in the culture, it's just not part of the culture to talk about problems. In Asian culture in general, but definitely Chinese culture. In America, we have psychologists and therapists on every corner. My father is a psychologist. Okay, 心理学家. All right? And yeah, 这里我们有非常多很多, right? Many therapists, and we have a culture that tells you that you should talk about your problems and you should discuss it and work on it. We weren't always this way. In the 1950s in America, no one talked about their problems. No one talked about their problems in the 50s and the 60s. In the 70s and the 80s, things started changing, and we started saying, that's not good. We need to be able to talk about things. And now, we try to be like that more. But there are still many families that don't have good communication between the family and the adults and the children, right? But I'm saying in a healthy environment, I think that the goal should be not that she's not going to tell you everything now, but the goal should be that you want her, by the time she becomes an adult, by the time she's 18, you want her to feel like she can talk to you. That's the goal, in my opinion, is by the time she becomes an adult, she needs to be able to feel like I can talk to my dad if I need to. You know? Yeah.
Yes.
And again, I know it's hard. And I feel lucky that I can talk to my father about anything, and I feel very lucky about that because I know not everyone has that. But you have to remember that raising a child is it's like gardening. You're trying to grow something, right? And you have to think about, what does this plant need? And when you garden, you can't get mad at the plant. Right? If the plant doesn't grow well, it's not the plant's fault, it's your fault. Right? You didn't garden well. You didn't take care of that plant. If the plant dies, that's your fault. But you can't get mad at the plant and say, oh, well, that plant died. I'm so mad at that plant. No, that's like children. Children, if they don't grow up right, that's not actually their fault. That's just like a plant in a garden. You have to maintain them. You have to take care of them, you know? And when a plant becomes mature, when a plant is mature, you don't need to take care of it so much anymore, right? So a baby tomato plant needs a lot of care. But when a tomato plant gets big, no, not so much care. You know, then you can let it go. That's the way we are here, is we hope that we raise our children so that when they become 18 or 19 or 20, now they feel like they can do things on their own and they still feel like they can get help. So we try to encourage independence, but we also try to encourage a sense of, what's the right word? Support. Support, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. So that's what I think is a good parent, is a parent that encourages their child to be independent, but also give them support.
So I have a question. What would American parents do if their children do not want to get educated in school?
That depends on the situation. So do you mean college, or do you mean she's not trying in school, you know, to study? Or
maybe, for example, your son is in the high school and he feel boring about study. He didn't want to go to college. So what American parents will do? Push them continue learning, stay in school, or support their hobby, support their...
It's really hard to answer that question, because when I was younger, I would say I think they would still encourage you to go to college, but they would try to find a way to encourage you, like, okay, fine, you don't want to go this year? Okay, then go next year. That is a big difference. For example, in China, when people go to college, it's only when you're young, and that's it. And then you're done, right? But in America, we go to college anytime. So if you go to college in America, most of the students will be young, but there will be some adult students in your class. There will be some people who are older. There will be some people who will be 70, 80 years old, but they want their degree. They want to study. They want to finish. They want to get that degree. So they go back to school. Okay? So that's a very big difference, is that here we might tell you, all right, you don't want to go to school this year at 18. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's fine. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe 19 is better. Guess what? I went to college when I was 18. I was not ready. I was not ready. And it's a stupid, stupid idea that everyone is ready at the same age at 18. Everybody is ready for college at that age. Why? What sense does that make? Where's the logic in that? Did everybody grow up the same way? Did everybody develop the same way? Did everybody have the same opportunities? No, they did not. So the idea that everybody is ready at 18 is a stupid, stupid idea. Maybe they need a year. Go work. Go get a job. Go do something else. Go travel, whatever, and then go back to work. Or go back to school. Sorry, not to work. Go back to school, right? Go back to school when you're ready, when it matters to you. Because that is a big problem. Many people around the world go to college or go to university or they go to school, but they don't really care. And if you are at school and you are studying, but you don't care, then whatever you are studying does not matter. It doesn't matter unless you care about it. So forcing kids to go to school to study and get good grades about things they don't care about, it's not going to help the world. Do you want a doctor who makes money, or do you want a doctor who cares?
I want my doctor happy.
So what I mean is if you have to go to the doctor, do you want the doctor who does medicine because he loves medicine? He cares about medicine. He's passionate about medicine. 他有很多的热情, right? But the other guy, he does it because he wants a Mercedes-Benz. He wants a big house. So which doctor do you want to go to, right?
Surely, I want them to have passion about what they choose.
So this is one thing that's funny about China and Asia, is that if you ask any Chinese person, which one is better, the doctor with passion or the doctor with no passion but a lot of money? Everyone will say the doctor with passion, of course, but you won't encourage your kids to be passionate. So it's kind of funny how you know that the passionate one is the better one, but you think passion is a risk. And it is. Passion is a risk. You know, you can go get a good job and make good money and have no risk. But maybe the world would be a better place if you care about what you do. Every job in this world is done better if you care about what you do. When you have a teacher, do you want a teacher who cares? Yes, you do. When you have a doctor, do you want a doctor who cares? Yes, you do. When you make a building, do you want an engineer who cares? Yes, you do. Right? So it's funny. We all know that it matters. It matters that you care about what you do. It matters if you have passion. But we tell people having passion is a risk. But we also don't realize that when you encourage people to do work that they don't care about, you encourage a world that has average work. So when you go to the hospital and you need a doctor, you have to worry about it now because you don't know if that doctor really cares. Right? So passion is important. So what I would tell you is, if your kid doesn't want to go to school, it's not the end of the world, but look, maybe they go to school the next year or the year after that, or maybe they find a different kind of school to go to, or maybe, let me think of somebody. In this world, we have 8 billion people. We have 8 billion people. And one of those people is the greatest dancer on the planet. And one of those people is the greatest singer on the planet. And one of those people is the greatest artist on the planet. So someone has to be those things. But we discourage those things. So what I mean is like, wait a minute. Your daughter, maybe she's in a math class and she doesn't like math and she's not doing well at math and math is not for her. But she might be a brilliant singer. She might be the best dancer. She might be an amazing something else. And Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein has a great quote that I love. Let me find it. Einstein said, everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, then it will live its whole life thinking it's stupid. So if you have a fish in the classroom and you say, hey fish, go climb that tree, and the fish can't climb the tree, and then you tell the fish, well, you're stupid because you can't climb that tree. But it's a fish. Fish aren't supposed to climb trees. But it can swim better. Right? So the point is that there are talents that maybe you need to look at a different talent. Like look at a different angle, right? And here's my last tip for you. My last tip is, this is a very important thing that teachers learn. Students are like flowers. Some flowers, they bloom early in the spring, in March, in April, in May. some flowers, they don't bloom until August or September or later. Can I get mad? Do I get mad at the flower because they didn't bloom at the right time? No, students are like that too. So sometimes the student that I have this year, he's not a good student. But next year he will come back and he will bloom and he will be great. So I have learned that sometimes you have to just be patient and wait for that student to bloom. And you have to create an environment that makes them feel like it's okay to bloom. You know, so, there's a go ahead.
But maybe some children, they just not flowers, they just leaves.
Okay, but every weed. Okay, but guess what?
To be leaves.
Yes, but even leaves are important. Even leaves have value.
Yeah,
even weeds have value. Sometimes the plant that we say is a weed, and we say, oh, it's not a good one, but it actually has a lot of value in the world.
But Chinese parents don't think their children is leaves. They all think their children is flowers. They want their children to go to college so they can find a better job.
Yes.
If their children cannot go to college, maybe they just their children just go to the factory to do some job that need strength.
Yes,
need power.
And that's true. That was true for a long time. So for some parents, I think that was a good idea. The way they were thinking was a good idea. But let me tell you another thing. There's another problem in China. Every kid in China goes to a good school. Every kid in China gets great grades. Every kid in China goes to college and gets a good degree. Do you know what happens if every single kid does the same thing? Then guess what? No one is special. So there's a saying in America, there's a famous guy, his name is Rod Serling. He said, being just like everyone is the same as being no one.
So this is the situation that China faces now. Some of the college students, when they graduated, they cannot find a job, even they come from that famous college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. But here's the thing that's different now. The thing that's different now is 50 years ago, it was impossible, almost impossible for you to find work someplace else. It was almost impossible. But guess what? I live in Cincinnati, Ohio right now, but I used to work in Taiwan. I worked in Taiwan for 4 years, teaching English. How did I do that? Well, I realized that if I want a job, I don't have to look in just my city. I don't have to look in just my state. I don't have to look in just my country. I can look at the entire world and find a place to work. And guess what, Cloudy? If I only go to my high school and only the girls at my high school see me, maybe 2 or 3 of them might think I'm attractive and say, wow, he's handsome. But if all the girls in the world see me and they say, oh, well, guess what? A whole lot of them. Look at like this, Cloudy. If only 1% of the whole world of the women who are in the world like you, that's 8 million women. Now, why do I say that? It's not about women. I'm trying to say that if you open yourself to a bigger market, then you have more value. So when more people find out about you, now you have more value. But if only your neighborhood knows about you, then you don't have any value. So if you want to worry about, okay, well, I want to make sure I have a good job, look further. Look further. You don't have to stay in your village. You can go anywhere.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. And so when you find a bigger market, you can have more value. You know, so that's the difference, is that a long time ago, everybody was saying those things in China because they did make sense, but they don't anymore. And now you should be telling your kids that you don't have to stay here. You could go anywhere. You can go anywhere and do anything, you know, and that means that you can open your market, right? So maybe when you see yourself in a small market, you think you have no value because only 3 girls think you're attractive. But when you see the whole world, now 8 million people think you're attractive, and now you can think, oh, that feels pretty good. Maybe I'm not so ugly. Right?
So that's the reason why learning English is important.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, English is important because it's a world language. That's why I'm learning Chinese too, because I think Chinese is also a world language and it's also an important language. And if I know English and I know Chinese, think about the opportunities that are available to me. You know? So,
that's correct.
Cloudy,
you can see...
Let me put it to you this way. How many English teachers are there in the world? Many, 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 many. Millions, right? How many English teachers are there that play drums also, that are also a drummer? Not that many, but some. How many English teachers are there that play drums and speak Chinese? How many English teachers are there that play drums and speak Chinese and have traveled around the world and know a lot about various cultures? So why am I saying this? Because I have a job that is a common job that millions of people do, but I have made myself unique because I have unique talents. So I pursued them. So I'm not just like the other ones because I have more than one skill. I was encouraged to have more than one skill. And by the way, Cloudy, I am a drummer. My first job, my main job, 我是鼓手. That's my main job. And guess what? Every great idea I have about language learning comes from my background as a musician. So I wouldn't have any of these good ideas. All the ideas I have about language learning, I wouldn't have them if I didn't play the drums.
Oh, I cannot believe there's relationship between the musician and the teaching.
Very strong relationship.
Oh.
Yeah. I started teaching as a drum teacher. When I was 18 years old, I started teaching drums. So I started learning how to teach people. I started learning how to understand communication skills and encouraging people and motivating people, right? I started that a long time ago. Then I changed to, I started teaching English in 2009. It's the same. Teaching is teaching is teaching is teaching. But my point is not about the teaching. My point is that if you like my ideas about language learning and you think those are special, like, wow, I've never heard that before, it's because I'm a drummer. My ideas come from that background. And why am I telling you that? Because if someone told me, Mark, you can't be a drummer, that's not a good job, then I wouldn't know this. I wouldn't have this information. So, you know, Cloudy, I'm not a religious guy, but I have one saying that I love to say that really does make sense. If you want to make God laugh, make a plan. So what I mean is, Chinese parents, every Chinese parent has everything planned for their child. You're going to go to this school, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to eat this, you're going to sleep this, you're going to do... Every minute, every second is planned by the Chinese parents, right? But guess what? It doesn't matter what you plan. Whatever you plan, it's not going to work out however you think. It's going to be different. Why? Because that's life. Life doesn't care about your plans. Right? So when I was 18 years old, I thought I'm going to be a drummer and that's all I'm going to be. I'm going to be a drummer. I'm going to play music in bands. That's all I'm going to do. If you told me then, oh no, you're going to be an English teacher and you're going to move to Taiwan and you're going to speak Chinese, I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't have believed you. But the point is that my background as a drummer, if someone took that away from me and said, well, that's not a good job, you should go do something else, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer, then I would never have found these ideas. Right? So, Chinese people are that way. They're very conservative about their children and about their futures. Why? Because of China's past. Because the history of China, that people struggled for a long time. And so now risk is really, really dangerous, right? So everybody there wants to do things safely as you can. But it's good to be rational, and it's good to be practical, but you still need to remember that you can't plan for everything. Life is something that you have to have a plan for, but you also have to be flexible. And the more flexible you are, the more successful you'll be. Especially in this world. In this world, if you only have one thing and one talent and you can do it one way, you are in trouble. You are in trouble because AI is going to replace you like that. But like I said, AI can teach English, but AI is not a drummer. AI is not a cook like I am. AI doesn't know about traveling like I do. AI doesn't have the same set of background that I have. So I have a unique set of tools, a unique set of skills, and that happened uniquely. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that your child is going to be unique no matter what you do. And if you encourage them to be less unique in this world, you're not helping them. You're hurting them. Because if you're not unique now, that's really bad. You need to have something special. You need to be able to say something different. You have to have some kind of a talent now. So, tradition. Traditions are good. But this is another big difference between America and China. American traditions are very short. My whole country is only a few hundred years old. So because our traditions are short, they're easily broken. We can change them because they're not that old. So we don't feel so special about them. But Chinese traditions are 6,000 years old. That means that all those traditions are a lot harder to change. People don't want to change them. Change happens a bit slower. The older your culture is, the slower change will happen in that way, right? So it's funny because in China, technology is changing so fast. It's crazy how fast the technology is changing. But the culture is still slowly changing. It's changing, but it's slowly changing. And the reason why it's slowly changing is because it has a direct relationship to how old the traditions are. The older the traditions are, the harder they are to change. But
yes.
But remember, China used to be only China. America used to be only America. I live on Earth now. I live on Earth. I can go anywhere. Last year, I took a vacation, my first vacation to Europe. I've never been to Europe. I went to Madrid. I went to Spain. I went to Germany. I could go back. If I want to, I can work anywhere. Right? So your daughter can too. Especially your daughter. She's 9. By the time she's 20, the world is going to be a much, much, much smaller place. So yeah, you better teach her English. She's going to need it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, teacher. You opened my mind. And there are too much information.
That's
and,
okay.
I think I need time.
Yeah,
上一
上. Yeah, 对啊, yeah. But that's okay. Yeah, and remember, just because I said it doesn't mean it's true. It's what I feel. It's what I believe. But that doesn't mean it's for you, right? If you like my ideas, great. If you like my ideas, great. But I am not going to tell everyone in the world that what I think is good for you. What I think is good for me, it might be good for you. That's all I can say. All right? Maybe.
I like your idea. I like it.
Good. I'm glad. All right. Well, I must go, Cloudy, but it was really a pleasure to talk to you, and it's late. You should go to sleep, my friend.
Thank you for inviting me, and I'm really feel pleasure to talk with you.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure, too. All right, well, take care, my friend, and I'll see you next time. Come back and see me again, okay?
Okay. See you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So it is, wow, I've been here for almost 3 hours. It's time to go. I've got to go. But it was fun. It was interesting. It was nice to talk to some people. And Andrew, if you're still here, I'm not in Taiwan now. I was, but I'm not now. Now I'm in Ohio. I would love to go back one day, though. Can I please play the drums next time? I will try to for you, Daisy. Okay, I'll see if I can make that happen maybe this week, okay? This week I'll see if I can. All right? All right. Okay. Once again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for following. Here is my whoops. No. Sorry. One more time. Here's my website. If you want to follow on my website, go to my website. If you want to follow me on YouTube, go to @AFIEC English and find me and follow me. Okay? I will be back on Monday. So have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, wherever you live. Thank you very much, Nora. I don't think I want to call myself a sage, but I appreciate, if you like, again, like I said, if you like what I think, if you like my ideas, great, I'm glad. I don't want to feel like I am a sage because I don't feel I've earned that yet. Maybe in another 50 years I'll feel sagacious, but not quite yet. But I appreciate it. All right, thanks. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good weekend. Bye, Carolina. Bye.